On this episode of Rock River Rails, we focus our lenses on the Wisconsin and Southern Railroad from October to December 2024. While the railroad has a vast layout of trackage throughout Wisconsin, in this episode, our footage is filmed in Janesville, Milton, and Whitewater, which are highlighted and circled on the map. We'll focus our efforts on the WSOR train T4H, which originates in Horicon, Wisconsin, with a destination of Janesville, Wisconsin. With introductions out of the way, we'll jump right into the action, and we hope you enjoy the Wisconsin and Southern through our lenses as the railroad wraps up 2024. We begin at the WSOR Janesville, Wisconsin terminal on October 26th. The terminal features a small rail yard where power and cars are scattered about, and a diesel shop for servicing locomotives. There seems to always be various power sitting around the facility, and if you hang around long enough, you're more than likely going to catch a train or power shuffling around the yard or diesel shop. The railroad completed construction recently on a new facility just west of the current shop. Good news for Whizzer fans in the region, and a welcome sight to see new growth in Janesville. We're set up at Roman Service Station, which offers the best view of the terminal, taking advantage of the southern sunlight. We will mention that this isn't the best area of town, so just be aware of your surroundings if you plan on visiting, and you should be just fine. There always seems to be something different and unique at the terminal, including the WSOR Stone Gardner Theater Car, the Northern Plains Dormitory Car, and the Northern Pass Baggage Car. We got photos of the trio almost a year ago to the date, and we're glad we did because all three have found new homes outside of the WSOR. As the old rail fan proverb goes, shoot it while you can, for tomorrow it will be gone. With horns cutting through town, the power for T4H is approaching now. The crew cut off the train just outside of Janesville, near Anderson. The cars will be picked up later when ready to continue on towards Chicago as train T4 minus the H. We take a moment to admire the variety of EMD locomotives before the crew drops a few at the new facility and heads back east. Next, we'll head a little further north to Milton, Wisconsin, and try our hand at seeing a full-length T4H. On November 9th, we're set up in Milton's Industrial Park, and a kind business owner has given us permission to park in their lot and film trains. We have found it is always better to ask for permission rather than forgiveness when rail fanning on private property. Train T4H is approaching the Sunnyside Drive grade crossing now, but will reverse shove as the crew still has work in Milton. After about 20 minutes' time, the crew finishes up their work and continues west towards Milton Junction. Today's power consists of GP38-2, number 3891 on the point, followed by SD40-2, number 4175, SD60Ms 6030 and 6028, and SD40-2, number 4173. A nice variety of EMD locomotives. The train consists of mixed freight towards the front, followed up by a long string of JLTVs, Joint Light Tactical Vehicles, manufactured by Oshkosh Defense for military operations. We'll pause for a moment to take in the unique vehicles. The crew drops their train between Milton and Janesville, and we catch the power in downtown Janesville as it crosses the Rock River on a cool and breezy fall morning. The power heads towards the Janesville terminal we showed you earlier to rest until their next assignment, and our day of rail fanning comes to a close. On November 16th, we visit Whitewater, Wisconsin, a college town of 14,000 residents. It's a cool, dark morning, and we arrived a little after dawn's early light, as the crew of today's T4H received their first track warrant around 0500. We're set up adjacent to the old Milwaukee Road depot, and while it hasn't served any passengers since 1951, the depot is well preserved by the city, and the Whitewater Historical Society uses the building as a museum present day. This trackage is Wisconsin Southern's Waukesha subdivision, which runs from Waukesha to Milton Junction. After Milton, trains headed to Janesville jump on the Madison subdivision. We hear horns in the distance, and train T4H is approaching now. We chase the train to Milton and arrive back at the industrial park. The engineer takes a walk to grab another locomotive that was left from a previous train and add it to the head end of today's T4H. While the crew preps 3892 as the new leader, a few other rail fans gather to watch the train's departure on this cold and windy Saturday morning. With the current crew about to go dead on hours, a relief crew joins the party and will take over for the rest of today's journey. After a brief discussion, the new crew is ready to continue on towards Janesville. With an all-EMD lash-up of Jeeps, SD40-2, and 60Ms, it doesn't take long to get the short train moving again. As this day of rail fanning comes to an end, we pick back up again in Whitewater on December 7th. Although it's another cold and windy day, the sun decided to make a rare appearance for this time of year, and the good lighting conditions are much appreciated. We're set up again adjacent to the depot, as there aren't a lot of photogenic spots in the city to choose from, so we stick with what works. It's almost 10 a.m. and train T4H is approaching our location now. As the train departs Whitewater, we pack up our gear and decide to chase it to Milton, Wisconsin for another look. We're set up outside the Wisconsin-Illinois Modular Model Railroad Club, where model train enthusiasts can run their HO-scale trains and socialize with other members. The group picked a great location trackside, and their building is also located next to the Milton House Museum, which was built in the mid-1800s by Joseph Goodrich. The building served as a stagecoach inn and storefront, as well as becoming part of the Underground Railroad, which aided former slaves on their journeys to freedom prior to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States. One outbuilding on the property has a secret tunnel for former freedom seekers, and the site was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1972. In 1998, the site was designated as a National Historic Landmark and present day serves as a museum. With the morning sun now covered by clouds, T4H approaches Milton Junction via the Waukesha subdivision. The train comes to a stop as the wind bears down on us and our camera, but luckily would only sit idle for a few minutes, as we're parked on the other side of the tracks and therefore stuck in the cold. As the train passes the junction, this would wrap up our day of rail fanning, and we'll head home to warm up. On December 14th, we visit Whitewater again on a dark, cloudy morning. This will be our final time viewing the train in 2024, and we hope you enjoyed seeing train T4H as much as we did. We thank you for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.